Hi, it's me, Bob Doyle, like it says right there. And how about that? I even pointed to the right direction the first time. I'm getting good at this. Super good. Sorry, I shouldn't start off that way. Everybody, welcome to this broadcast. Prepare for flawlessness, because we all know that that's not how we roll here. Well, okay, so how do we roll? Well, let's find out. I mean, I can say how I usually roll, but how we roll right now, it's anybody's guess. All right, hold on, turning down volume and stuff. And now I'm just waiting for somebody to show up. Guys, this is a really important message I have for you today. We've been doing messages lately, rather than just whatever law of attraction question you have. Hi, Jane. Hi, Sandy. Whatever law of attraction question you have, of course, is always fair game. It is a law of attraction Q&A after all. It would be false advertising if I didn't address your questions, so I'm definitely going to do that. Hi, Nori and Pinky Jack. And so I'm going to do that, but I've also been bringing to the table, because a lot of you are slow on questions, It's not like I'm broadcasting to the other group where there's 5.5 million people, right? It's a tight little group we have here. But you know what? It's so special. Right? Hi, Dawn. And hi, Paul. So my theme today, as is evidenced by the description, and it's really it seems a simple question, but from a law of attraction point of view, it's really important, and it's kind of like what I was bringing up the other day about your vision. So I'm asking it a different way, and the way that I'm asking it is, what are you up to? Like, what are you up to in your life? Now, I want you to stop and think for a second, because I'm not asking you necessarily what your job is, right? What's your career? That's not really what I'm asking. Hi, Sarah. And Steve. So I'm asking, what are you up to? Like Steve, for example, I know what he's up to. He is a musician, and he is out to empower other musicians. He's got a vision and a mission, and it is driving him every single day. Now, I know this, of course, because I've worked with Steve in group coaching capacity, and I know this. And I know that having that and knowing what your life is about makes all the difference in the world. And so a lot of people start with the law of attraction, and they're not really sure what their life is about. They just know that they're not real thrilled with how it's showing up right now, right? But and again, we've been conditioned to think about that. We've been conditioned to look at our problems, consider our problems, be ruled by our problems, be defined by our problems, be identified by our problems. Oh, it's a terrible thing we've done to ourselves, but we can undo it, you and I. We can, and we will. So if you can't answer the question, what is your life about, it's time to probably start thinking about how you might answer that. Let me tell you a little bit about what I think my life is about. My life seems to be a lot about creativity in general, and sharing the creative process and inspiring the creative process in others. It's not unlike what Steve is up to. We're just taking slightly different approaches. And so I do this in many ways. One of the biggest visible ways that I do it is teaching the law of attraction, which is really the sort of your ultimate toolkit for creating a life by design. And so obviously, since creativity and creating in general is what I'm about, then this conversation, the law of attraction, is a clear fit for me. But for those of you who know me, I do lots of other crazy crap too, right? I've got the Bob Doyle Show, which is a completely different crazy expression of who I am, and we mix some of this in there. I'm a musician. I share my music. I have podcasts. I do all of these things. So I'm going to introduce at this point a different way. A paradigm shift, ladies and gentlemen. And it's like this. You know the term making a living? What do you do to make a living? When you are asked that question, what do you immediately go to 100% of the time? How do you make a living? Oh, I work at the whatever. Oh, I'm an insurance salesman. I teach the law of attraction. How do you make a living? Right? We always think about how are we making our money. And you know what? That paradigm, I think, is really hurting us. We're guided by words. We'll make up entire realities based on the meaning of words. And when we can learn and expand the definition of a word, it can change our entire reality. So think about making a living. Making a living is not just creating the funds to afford staying alive. Making a living, your life. How are you going to make it? So you've got the money part, great. So that's the part about funding things. Now, how are you going to use that to make a living, make a life? You're going to cultivate your interest. You're going to get better as a musician. You're going to build a business. You're going to go out and go into community. Whatever you're going to do, how are you going to make a living? And I don't mean an existence of breathing. That's what everybody's thinking about. How do you make your living? In other words, how do you get by? How do you pay your bills? Right? That's what that question has come to mean. Am I correct or not, Sarah Jane? Hi, Kim. Thank you, Jill. We like to think we go through a lot of mics here from dropping them all the time. How are you making a living? So that's my question to you. How are you making a living? What is your life about? What is this life? So yeah, sure, what you do for money is part of that, but what are you doing to make it a living? Not an existence, a living. And some of you it may be like, well, crap, I'm really not doing a lot. Right? The question in the description was something along the lines of, are you moving towards something every day, or are you just kind of moving through every day? Because there are people who are doing that, who are learning the law of attraction, and they're missing the opportunity to use it to actually create something that they're moving towards, because they're learning about it, again, to sort of like, how do I make this situation better, rather than allowing themselves to create an entirely new situation. What are you doing with the income you're making at the job to make a living? And what else can you be doing to make a living? So if someone asks me, what do you do to make a living? Well, I can mention ukulele, and I could say playing with puppies. You make a living playing puppies? It wouldn't be a living if I didn't. Oh, there went another mic. So if you're not able to answer these questions, I think it's time to start being able to answer them. Because you can learn about the law of attraction all day long, but if you don't know where you're going or why or any of that stuff, what is your life about? What is your life about? Right? Not what's your job, not how are you going to make it to next week. Right? And so here's where we go. A lot of people have no freaking clue how to answer that question. Right? Because that's, again, it's not how we've been trained. We never really were trained to follow our passions. We were trained to make a living, meaning earn money to pay the bills. That's what we were trained for. And if you love it, bonus, right? But how many people have been brought up with this idea that, you know, if you get to live your passion, you're one of the lucky ones. Well, Dawn, get on it. Make that graphic. That would be great. That would be a great animated thing to every now and then just have a mic drop. Although that's a lot of arrogance, don't you think? Hey, another drop the mic moment. Look, this doesn't come from me. It comes from elsewhere. Anyway, so I'm curious. Who can answer that question? So far, I said I've already answered the question for Steve. But who of you listening right now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching in the replay, can tell me what your life is about? You know, a lot of times people are like, well, it's about, I know it's about helping people, and that's a great start, but they don't have an idea of how would they help people. Hint, it's by doing whatever you're the freaking best at. How's that going to help people? Trust me. But you got to understand what's driving you at a core value. And a lot of times we just don't take the time to do that because we're too busy putting out the fires of the day. Can I get an amen? I'll wait 20 seconds and I'll see your amen. Hi, Debbie. Need to change our program for a new up-to-date new program. That's correct. See, Sarah, yes, of course we're in alignment. I want to take this opportunity to also address this other thing. Because because we did launch this group coaching program recently, and so I've been sending email on it, and I haven't been sending a lot of email to my folks because I know people are over email. You know, they just are, and that's why I like doing things this way. But this is, this group coaching, it's a major thing, it's a huge opportunity, and of course I'm going to mail about it. It's not one of my favorite things to do, as everybody knows who's been watching me. I'm not, but I do it. And so I got, of course, a predictable, angry, I came to you for help, and all you do is send your own adverts. Okay, now this is something that people in my position have to deal with all the time. But I really had sort of an aha moment, see, because here's the deal. Again, if you're new to me, you're learning this for the first time, but if you've been hanging with me for a while, you know this. I give crap away constantly. When I do these Q&As, I'm giving you my best stuff. I'm giving you the A1 top, people pay however much to get it. And I have hours of YouTube videos of these types of Q&As and other topic-specific things, all absolutely free. I've got apps that are free with tons of information, with everything I could teach you. And when I send email, I generally tell people that, that there's this free stuff. And because here's the deal. Free stuff out there. Literally, all my best is out there. If you were to go out there and find it and piece it together and take action on it and go through it in a structured way, you could get the same results of paying for whatever, paying for a program, paying for group coaching. But guess what? You don't do it. People don't do it. They just don't do it. And so, and if they do, if I was to point you to, here's all the information, it's all over the place, but if I was to say, here's all the information you need, go for it for free, right? Well, they've got to structure it in the right way. They got to move through their own stopping points. So if you want a different level of structure, a different level of organization, a different way to make yourself learn this better, you can go up a notch from the free and pay for something like a program. So we had the Wealth Beyond Reason program, step-by-step curriculum, right? Same information, basically, but structured more intentional assignments, to guide you through it. There's value to that monetarily because we spend tons of time putting that stuff together. And you got to have something in the game, period. That's why you spend money on stuff. And $7 for a complete Law of Attraction program, your ego isn't buying that for a second. So, you invest. And then you hopefully get out of it what you put. You will get out of it what you put into it. But here's the thing: even with self-study programs like Wealth Beyond Reason or any of the other ones out there, when you're stopped by your stuff, you stop, and that's it. No more value. So, if you want another level where you're accountable, where you've got daily support, where you are going to do it, you're going to get your return on investment. You take it up another level and you get involved with some level of coaching. And that can be one-on-one or group. And I've done one-on-one and group for years. Group is way better for everybody. It's cheaper. You get more attention. You get more support. You get more tools. You get more everything. And so, yeah, I'm charging for group coaching, and it's not super cheap, but it's not expensive. It's not super expensive. It's just enough for you to get in the game and be serious about taking this stuff seriously and learning and implementing and seeing the results. Because you can tell me all day long, and I've had people, just chastising people in my position for selling or making money off of or whatever this type of information. This is a way I make a living. I love teaching this stuff, and I'm doing it for free right now. Because believe it or not, what I'm telling you is a law of attraction lesson, because there's a lot of you out there who are entrepreneurs who don't own your value and get gun shy about price and all that other stuff. Your heart is in the right place. You want to give and you want people to get value out of it. If I gave away my group coaching, the people would not get the same amount of value. They would not do the same level of work, and they just wouldn't be in the game. How do you know, Bob? 15 years of doing this? Okay, here we go. People are afraid of what they don't know, and the future is something that scares people, so they just live there and live the same. That's exactly right, and that is what that's how the ego survives. That seems too scary. That whole question about what is your life about? Your ego is like, let's see, what can we do to distract you from thinking about that? Because if you start asking yourself that question, you're going to start coming up with something different that you want, probably, and a different way of being and all that, and then you start stepping on the ego's sense of identity and survival, and then it starts telling you all the reasons you can't do this, and you shouldn't take this step, and don't whatever. So you'll stay right where you are. Thank you, Sarah. Hi, Charmaine. Debbie says, visualizing my future and doing all I can to get there, like live close to the beach, and we'll be doing that next year. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Don says, I love helping people and making a living doing it. Now it's time to thrive doing it. CBD and QuickBooks, editing, all sorts of fun stuff. Don is a lot like me. We're just up to a bunch of stuff. We love doing a bunch of different things. I'm best known for this law of attraction thing thanks to The Secret, right? But I am up to so many other things. And if I don't do them, I am not living. And I play the ukulele hours a day, not making any money on it right now. But it's making my living. Scratching Cody's belly, going for a walk, goofing off with computer animation, all kinds of things that have nothing to do with money that go into making that living. And so if I just concentrated only on what's bringing me the money, then I'm cutting out all the other things that make life enjoyable that don't necessarily bring money or need to or any of that stuff. But we've gotten so into this mindset of if I'm going to spend time on it, I better get paid for it. Let me submit that if you spend more time doing those other things non-paid that you love to make that living, you're going to do better at what you are making money from. You're going to feel more abundant. You're going to feel more in alignment. You're going to feel more deserving and valuable because you're living full out. You're expressing yourself. You're putting yourself out there and you're getting that feeling of your own awesomeness. And then who knows what can happen with that stuff? I have not taken it off the table that I'll make lots of money playing the ukulele one day. It's all totally possible. I'm not fixated on it because right now I do it because I just love doing it. Thank you, Debbie. I love you too. No questions for me. It's because my questions were too impactful, right? You were gobsmacked. Oh, I got a question for you. What's my life about? Oh, crap. I better not ask that question until I know what my life's about. Because a lot of times people do ask questions, law of attraction related questions, and they're frustrated with their progress. And they're asking all these questions around it when they haven't asked the first question, which is, what is my life about? Why am I even doing this? Where am I going? Because if you're not clear on that, your law of attraction results are going to be sporadic and confusing. Because you're sending signals like, well, now I'm attracting this wealth, and now I'm trying to solve this problem, and now I don't know who I am, and I don't know what I want. All this stuff, chaos. And so that's what you attract, and it feels very sporadic and weird. And so we do the group coaching to bring that in, to help you do it. This is how you get to it. boundlessliving.com/group coaching, or you can type group info into the comments here, and you'll have an automated conversation with a virtual me about more information about this stuff. We start on September 23rd, but it has already begun for the people who have already signed up. They're already in there. Right when I'm done with this, I'm going live in there and talking to them, to get us geared up, because the conversation starts now. They're already introducing themselves. The relationships are forming, my friends. Do not be left behind, because the power of this stuff is the community and the support you get. Okay, Debbie says, sometimes I feel stuck. Thoughts and actions with old values. Can you flesh that out just a little bit? We all feel stuck, and a lot of times, well, most of the time, we're not really stuck because everything's always in motion. So if we're feeling stuck, and I'm not the first person to say this, it's just because we've got our thoughts and our emotions and all that in the same place. We're just focusing on our stuckness, and therefore we have it. And so it's more important than ever when you're feeling stuck is to really see yourself unstuck. What does that look like? What would it look like if I was unstuck? What action would I take right now if I was unstuck? These are the types of questions you need to ask yourself so you can at least start to visualize what it looks like to get unstuck. What would it look like if I wasn't stuck? What action would I be taking right now if I know I'm stuck, but if I wasn't, what would I be doing? And then you play that out. And then you see the results of you not being stuck, and you see the results of the action that you take, and hopefully that is enough to get you around that ego who's telling you, you don't need to do anything right now, you're stuck, so you're off the hook. That whole stuck conversation is the ego's very, very favorite, because it's an illusion. You're not stuck. You're just thinking the same thing over and over. But the ego says, look, we all get stuck. Don't be so hard on yourself. Let's just stay stuck for a while because it's totally okay. How's this feel? ladies and gentlemen. Familiar? What I'm really hoping from all of these Q&As that we do, and I know obviously right now I'm talking a lot about the group coaching, but I am inserting lessons in here, is that you will understand either through these Q&As or going back and looking at other ones that I've done in the past or any of those other free resources that the information that you want is here. It is available to you. And that the testimony, if you will, of the other people who have worked in this group coaching environment. So if you're looking for change, if you're looking for support, if you're really wanting to do it, so I'm saying here it all is. It's right here. It's right here, and I showed you how to get there. The end. Come in and let's start it. And if you know you want to do it and you're delaying, then it's really important that you look at what the conversation is that you're having with yourself and how are you rationalizing not doing this for yourself. You know, in terms of money, there's payment plans. There's a whole thing with PayPal credit, where if you qualify, you don't even have to pay for the thing for 6 months. So there's all sorts of ways to get in it and do it. If you're feeling at all, boy, I could really use some fine tuning on what my life is about, because clearly, yes, it makes sense. If I don't know what it is, how am I going to get there? And I'm stuck here, and I've been stuck here. I've taken the programs, I've done all these things, and I'm not getting movement. I need to be in an environment where there's action going on a daily basis. And when I have a question, I can get it answered. If that's all you, well, my friends, there it is. BoundlessLiving.com/group coaching. And we have fun in there. Don't we, Sarah? We have fun. Hi, Sharon. Okay. Now, again, it's just like I said yesterday, or whenever I said it. The more questions you ask in these live things, the less I talk about group coaching. Oh, I'll fit it in there. No question. I will. But, I'd really rather be answering your questions, because really that shows you what I can help you with in the group coaching environment, right? So I really haven't seen a lot of people answer the questions, though, guys. I did ask, what are you up to? Are you not answering because you're not clear? Dawn answered it. Who else? I really want to know, because, see, if you're not able to answer it, then let's work on that. So who of the people watching this, or even on the replay, what's your life about? What's your life about? Not what do you do for a living. It can be in there. What's it about? Now, I know you've had time. I know the delay has gone. So people should be typing by now. I should be seeing comments right now. So what this says to me is I've got an audience of some people who may be not quite sure what their life is about. And what I would just highly recommend is remembering that this is the one we got. And the sooner we get on task of figuring it out and living it, the happier we'll be, the more abundant we'll feel, all of those things. Remember why you went to college and all that stuff and got all that higher education, so you could learn this thing, so you'd have this happy, rich life? It could be working out for you great. A lot of times, not so great. So what we're trying to do is unlearn what isn't serving you, learn new ways of doing things that will serve you, get clear on your vision, give you a path to action, give you the tool set you need, give you the support you need. I think I've made myself more than clear. Renee says just joined, but I don't know if that means the group coaching or this particular conversation. If you join the group coaching, Renee, awesome sauce, and I celebrate you. I celebrate you for being here, even if you just joined this thing. The funny thing is when I'm trying to stay with a high vibration, the more negative things come up. Well, see, that's the whole thing. Of course, especially at first, because your ego is tied into its way, and so it's programmed basically when you start. If you start moving past your emotional set point towards happiness or joy or positivity, wherever you are, if you start moving past that, your ego is going to get you really, really uncomfortable and have you start thinking negative things with a vengeance. So yes, the more committed you are to breaking free of the limitation, the louder the voice screams, and that's why people quit. That's why people bail, because it's in those moments when the ego will make the most sense. Whatever it has to do to keep you right where it wants you, which is where it's comfortable, not necessarily where you're comfortable with. So, but here's one of the things that I invite you to do now, Sharon, is to change this conversation. So, make this the last time you say the more I'm trying to stay in a high vibration, the more negative things come up. So instead, change the conversation to the more positive things I think, the more positive things I attract. The more positive feelings I attract. I think of one thing and I just can't help but escalate. It just snowballs better and better and better and better and better. So just change that little conversation that you're having with yourself. And everybody needs to be able to do that. All right. Debbie, I would love to have you in the group coaching. I will be thrilled to have you in there. You're a good question asker and a participant. I love the people who participate. And that's the thing you're going to see when you get in there. This is all about participation. All about participation. You know, you get in there and you introduce yourself and you share what you're up to. The sooner you do that, the sooner people connect to you and go, man, it's not the exact same thing, but the idea is the same. The emotions are the same. The resistance is the same. This is going to be awesome. And it is. It really is. There are people, there are, like I've said many times, especially like in the last group, such diverse types of personalities of people, and yet they find ways to connect. We're out in the real world, probably not. Probably walk by each other on the street and go, nope. Right? Because we judge. We're so judgy. But you get in here and like from day one, it's just pure honesty and pure open. And no matter what the past you bring into this thing, you're here for now. You're here for the present and the vision of the future. And everybody's in there for the same reason. So we all just start with this wonderful clean slate of connection and honesty and openness and safety. Gives me a warm feeling, like chocolate cake. Think of us as the chocolate cake of group coaching, unless you don't like chocolate. And then you can fill in the flavor of your choice. Addie says, do I need to be 100% positive to attract something? No, think about all the negative things you attract. You don't need to do anything to attract something. You're always attracting something. If you want to attract positive things, you want to be in that vibrational space more often than not. But if you're not in that, you're going to attract whatever you're in alignment with, right? It's not like the attraction process clicks on when you go into the positive. It's on all the time. So you're attracting, whether it's negative, mediocre, or outstanding. So I hope that answers your question. It's about shifting the balance. Where is most of your emotional attention? How are you feeling most of the time? So on. That's right. Beth and Dawn are in there in the group coaching already, having some conversation with one another. Okay. Any other questions? Because I'll just, I'll wrap it up and let you get back to your Sunday. We have got a scorcher here in Marina Del Rey, ladies and gentlemen. Up to about 90 degrees. Now, where I came from in Atlanta, that's, whatever. But here in the marina, it's hot. And the places don't come with air conditioners, so I've got a fan going. So if you heard that, you just imagine it's the ocean waves back there. See? Oh, theater of the mind. Creativity. See what I'm talking about? Okay. 96 in Denver Metro. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, well, I'm going to play the music. You know the music. I'm going to write words to this. Maybe one day. Maybe not. I don't know. Just going to go with the flow, see how it feels. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Addie. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, everybody who was here. I can keep scrolling back. Sharon and Steve and Debbie, of course, and Sarah and Charmaine and Jill and Kim and Sarah Jane and Eves. And what a great crowd, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure and share this with everyone you know and love, because that's how they know. That's how they'll know you truly do know and love them.